Have you ever spent more time trying to make a decision than actually doing the thing? As an INFP, I have, and I'm sure you have too. So in this video, I want to talk about why making a decision as an INFP is like this complex dance between our emotions and our values and our identity, and also just doing things, doing the productive thing, making a decision, meeting the practical demands of the moment. And I'm going to give you a 4-step formula and another little bonus method that you can use in order to make decisions faster that align with yourself, that feel good, and actually move the XP needle of your life forward. So for a lot of us, maybe I should introduce myself. Hi, I'm Matt Sherman from Geek Psychology. I'm an INFP and I work with other INFPs mainly and do coaching and hypnosis, and I have a bunch of courses and things like that around self-development. I've been through this a lot. I've spent a lot of time coaching other INFPs on how to make better decisions using my understanding of myself as an INFP and all the different tools and strategies that I've come across. When we're making decisions, often it feels overwhelming because we want to make a decision that feels aligned with who we are. We don't want to decide something and then have to do it and then feel uncomfortable about it. Feel like, well, that wasn't really like reflective of who I am. That's not really me. Or to feel pigeonholed, forced into a course of action that we don't want to take, but we had to make a spur of the moment decision. So what we often do is we decide between these two things. Either first, I'm just going to do what feels right to me. And in order to decide that, I'm going to take a long time feeling through this decision. Or we try to go robotic and we just say, okay, I'm going to forget my emotions and I'm just going to do the productive, cool, logical thing. I don't know if it's cool like sunglasses on or cool like motionless. Maybe both. A cool robot with sunglasses on. And neither one of those really work. In the long term, there are better ways of making those decisions. And deep down, we know that. We've gotten that advice and opinion from other people for a very long time. Just make a decision. Just hurry up. What do you want to eat today? Oh, God, I don't know. And we just freak out about it. And other people are just saying, well, hurry up already. Talk faster. Speed up. It's a clear sign of introversion. And it doesn't feel good. And it doesn't work very well. What I found is in the long term, this is not an immediate answer for this whole question of how do I make faster decisions or more attuned decisions. In the long term, the more you know about yourself and the more you've tracked it and measured it and really reflected over it and done things outside of your comfort zone, tested yourself, built your character, understood your character. The more that you've done that, the quicker your decisions are. If you've spent a lot of time reflecting over the past, but not actually getting a new breadth of experiences, it's still going to take a long time. If it's all theoretical, it's going to take a long time. Or if it's all in your heart, it's going to take a long time. Until you get clear awareness of when I make a good decision, I feel like this. I've made these decisions before, and these ones resonated with me. This one didn't, and I still regret it to this day. So when I'm making this new decision, does it align with my values or not? And you can make decisions a lot quicker. The problem is, a lot of us spend a lot of time in introverted sensing, which is the guardian, as I call it. And this is like talking to this slow, methodical, practical character, our advisor that's saying, you need to slow down. You need to make sure that we are maintaining consistency here. Look into your past quest log. How did you feel about it when you did something similar to that? Oh, you didn't feel good? Well, let's not do that again. Let's really think about it, process it, so that we don't make any mistakes, so that things are okay. Thank you to that part. Say thank you to that part. But it's not always the time to listen to that as the advisor. It's also not always the time to listen to the explorer, extroverted intuition, which is saying, who cares? Just do something, see what happens. Shake it up. Whenever I say shake it up, I always think of that scene from The Simpsons. I think Homer has a bag of cats and dogs, and he's shaking it. I think it's The Simpsons. Maybe it's Family Guy. I don't know anymore. I always think of that scene, though. Just shake it up. See what happens. See what emerges out of this. It could be anything. That's a good voice to listen to, too. But you want to make sure that it's not always that. It's not always, I'm just going to do something new and random and not actually reflect over it. There are 2 other characters that are really important within our psyche. There are 6 other characters, but we're going to talk about 2 others. There's also our inferior or aspirational function, extroverted thinking, which I call the commander. This is about making logical, organized decisions, checking our resources, our return on investment, being the commander, strategizing, void of emotion, doing the actionable thing. That's asking, what should I do in this situation? Do what works. That's a good voice to listen to sometimes, but we can only do it for so long before we feel like we're being torn into bits and scattered around the ocean. Sounds like not a good, fun place to be, right? And then there's our dominant function, introverted feeling, the soul. That's like, really, check in with you. What feels aligned? What feels right to you? Trust your conscience. Trust who you are as a person. Do the thing that makes you feel perfectly aligned with all the parts of yourself. That's a great voice to listen to. But as you can imagine, it's slow. Unless there's conviction built around it, it is slow. Unless you know, as I mentioned before, you know that this is a good decision for you, this is a bad decision, you've lived it, you've kinesthetically felt it. Unless you've done that, it's slow. Because it's passing that decision through all these different parts of yourself, asking the future version of you from tomorrow, next week, a year, 10 years, 30 years, and reflecting back too. It takes a long time. Which is why a lot of us INFPs speak slowly as well, is because we're feeling through, we're sifting through to find a word that really resonates, that reflects. Those are 2 conflicting metaphors. Resonate is a sound-based metaphor, and reflect is a light-based metaphor, I suppose. That process happens a lot, and it takes a long time. So what can you do? Well, I mentioned the long-term strategy, which is put yourself in a bunch of different contexts, learn, reflect, intentionally make yourself uncomfortable so that you know what it's like. We all know what it's like to be uncomfortable, but I mean do it intentionally and reflect over it and review it, and then implement that. Another strategy is the 70% rule, but the real 4-step strategy is to use all 4 of your cognitive functions to get an opinion and then just take action. So what that looks like is first looking at your introverted feeling, assess emotional resonance. Ask, does this decision feel fundamentally right to me? This is that 70% strategy. Check in with yourself. Does this align with generally me? 70% of me. Of course, it's not an actual 70% metric, but just check. Does this feel like it'll generally be okay? Yes, no, okay, do it, and then reflect over it. The key is reflecting over it. One issue that we have is we think that the decision is stuck, that it's definitely going to happen. But in reality, the decision is a hypothesis. It's a guess as to what is going to happen, what we're going to do. Things are going to change. Things always change. By making a decision, things change. By not making a decision, things change. Any of those in any sort of granular format are going to create change. And there's stuff outside of us that we cannot control. So we can make a decision to the best of our ability and then just move forward and then get feedback and adjust from there. Your explorer and your commander will love you for that. They want that external feedback. They want you to do something, see what emerges, and then say, okay, well, which course of action should we take here? If it was all explorer, it would just be like, again, do something, do anything, see what happens, and then adjust, and you'll be fine. Eventually, we usually do learn that lesson, that things will be fine if we just allow ourselves to live. And the commander would likely have contingency plans, plan A, plan B, plan C, and we're going to do this, and we're going to track it, and we're going to, see how much progress we've made and how much resources we've spent, time, energy, emotion, money, and what's the feedback on that, and assess and adjust. That sounded exhausting just talking about it. But the 70% rule will get you most of the way there most of the time. And then you can adjust from there. Know that it's not always, I know it feels like it, but it's not really a reflection of our identity and who we are as a person all the time. There will be goof ups. There will be times where you did something and then you regretted it after. If you know how to wield your mind, then you can clear that stuff up pretty easily. You can move things around in mental space, recycle bin, delete things, reduce or remove the negative emotional baggage to it, or increase it. Oh, that was a good decision. Make it bigger, make it more vivid, and you can use that as a guidepost. If you don't know how to do that, look up NLP and go down that rabbit hole. Trust your value-based consistency, and I'm struggling to think of a better word than intuition, because within MBTI, intuition means something else, right? Trust your values. If caring, creativity, health is important to you, well, look at those and say, does this decision generally reflect those in a positive light? Yes? Okay. Go for it. Does it really clash with family as a value? Okay, then probably shouldn't do that. If it means harming my family to make this decision, then I probably shouldn't do that. It's pretty clear when you think about it like that. And I know not everything is that clear, but it helps a lot. Then consult extroverted intuition, your explorer. Ask, what can I learn from this choice? What will change? What if I take this? Allow time for the explorer to brainstorm, to imagine things in different ways, to possibly get you excited for making a decision and making progress, because that opens up, it unlocks new doors, new options, new possibilities, which is exciting. Embrace flexibility and growth, and know that everything is an experiment. If you treat life as a constant experiment, in my experience, that makes things better. It's not finalized. It's, I did a thing, I tried it, it didn't work well, I adjusted, I got better feedback, it worked. Yay. But if you treat everything as, if I do this, this is the end, it brings a lot of pressure. So view each decision as a data point and not a life sentence. You can change things. Sometimes it takes work, sometimes you got to back up a bit. I know a lot of us don't like backing up or backing down, but if you make a choice and it doesn't feel correct, doesn't feel right after you start to engage with it, then just take a step back and adjust. A lot of times we only know after we've made a decision. When I think about my daughter and I'm like, you want to go to the park or do you want to go shopping? And she's like, I want to go to the park. Wait, no, I want to go shopping. And then she's decided. Because she said it first, she felt it, she started the process and then was like, no, I don't want that, I want to do this one. I found out. Sometimes it takes that, just making a decision, starting. So after you've consulted the soul, does it feel right with me, generally? And the explorer, what if I do this? What are the possibilities? Have fun with it. Then you can also look into your past. Ask the guardian, what have I done in the past that was similar to this? And how did I like it or dislike it? Especially if we've done gratitude work around our past. And we can say, I did this. It wasn't great at the time, but it actually led to some other things that were really good for me. Maybe that's a sign that you could do more of that. And then go down to the commander. Can I realistically take the first step? What is the actionable thing? Sometimes we can have this plan. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to, this is kind of a decision. Of course, it couldn't actually happen, but I wanted to carve a river into my mom's basement, which was also my room because I lived there, that went through, and I wanted to have like trees and stuff. And I imagined it. I was like, okay, this is great. But could I actually realistically take the first step? No, I couldn't. So that's a fun imagination rampage exploration, but it's not something that's actually a clear decision. If you're deciding, should I move to Spain, and you can't decide, go through this formula. Like, does it feel right to me to live where I am right now, or should I move to Spain? Actually, it feels pretty good. Okay, well, let's go to the explorer. What other possibilities? Like, If I move there, business opportunities, get a partner, just enjoy a new area, a new place in life, gain some new patterns, understand a different culture, speak a new language. Or I could go there and I could hate it. I could be miserable. Then I could just move back home. And then go to the go to the guardian. Have I moved somewhere else in the past? Have I lived somewhere else? Did I learn a different language before? Did I like it? You have all these experiential ideas that you just created through the Explorer. Well, then go to the guardian. Consult it. Could I imagine myself in a place like that? Maybe. Cool. Or no. And go to the commander. Like, what's the first step that I can take here? Is there a realistic step? Remove any perfectionistic barriers and just say like, okay, well, if I'm going to move, what do I need to get ready? What do I need to do? And start taking the steps to make that a reality instead of wondering about it until you can't do it anymore and then you regret it, because that's a horrible feeling. So when you're making a decision, acknowledge that you are probably afraid of making the wrong choice. But life is an experiment. So you can take an action, you can make a choice, and then you can do something else after. It's fine. And you will learn from it. After you study it like an experiment, you can learn from it. And then you can make different choices after. You can take different actions that are more calibrated and focused on who you are and who you want to become. In this case, the only real failure would be to not make a decision at all, which is a decision. But to decide to continuously research forever and not take any action, you miss out on so much. The speed of implementation is very important. And I've learned it more and more since having a kid and then having another kid. Like, if I just take more action faster, I will get more feedback and I can make better choices after that. But for those more difficult ones, consult your parts or shortcut it and say, does this feel kind of right? Okay, let's see.